Hello friends, hi, this is Ganesh Nayak. In the previous video, we tried to understand the fundamental difference between the GARP RAI certification and the AIGP certification. Now, let us go one step ahead and compare these two certifications from more practical perspective to understand how they are different in terms of the depth, in terms of the difficulty and the professional relevance. First question that I'm going to address is, do you need a technical or an AI background to pursue any of these certifications? The answer is no. Neither certification requires coding experience, machine learning experience or development skill or even a computer science degree. Both certifications are designed for business professionals, somebody who is already working in risk, compliance, tech. These people, even consultant, and managers who are going to be interacting with AI system in the future. However, having a basic understanding of concepts such as machine learning, generative AI models and data can be very, very interesting, and it will ease out your entire learning process. You don't need to build AI system. You need to understand how AI impacts organization and how it should be governed and managed responsibly. Question number 2. Between RAI and AIGP, which certification is more comprehensive curriculum? This depends upon how do you define comprehensive. RAI provides much more broader coverage for AI risk management. For example, it talks about explainability, hallucination, biases and fairness, AI control monitoring, risk framework, all of that in detail. So the scope is much broader. When we talk about AIGP, it is definitely broader, but it is more connected to the broader governance and the compliance topics because it talks about policies, accountability, organizational oversight, regulatory requirement, all of that. So in simple terms, RAI tends to cover the risk aspect, whereas AIGP tries to cover the governance and the compliance aspect in detail. Question number 3. Which exam is more difficult to pass? Difficulty is slightly subjective from different professionals. For working professional coming from finance, audit, risk and governance background, my recommendation is that RAI often feels much more similar to what you're doing right now. It connects to the concepts which you're already doing on a day-to-day basis, like risk assessment, control, governance, oversight. Now, if I'm a professional who is coming from a background of privacy, legal, compliance, then AIGP may be much more natural for me because I'll be able to focus heavily on those governance framework and regulatory considerations. Neither exam is considered more heavy, more technical. The challenge primarily comes from understanding new AI concepts and applying them for the organization where you're working. Question number 4. How much time of preparation do you actually need for RAI exam or AIGP exam? Most working professionals who are going to give the RAI exam, they ideally need roughly around 60 to 100 hours of preparation, which is very focused preparation. AIGP typically requires around 40 to 80 hours of preparation, depending upon if you have some level of governance and compliance experience before. Actual preparation time would obviously vary depending upon your work professional, your familiarity with AI concepts. Have you done some basics of it or not? Have you done preparation consistently or not? All of these factors will definitely impact. The more relevant your experience is, the more faster you'll be able to learn. Question number 5. Which certification covers AI governance in greater depth? Now, over here, I would say AIGP is clearly the winner because it talks about the AI governance and focus extensively on the governance structure, roles and responsibility. What does the accountability should be? What is the structure of accountability? How regulators look at it? What is the regulatory compliance? If the primary objective of AIGP is helping organization build and operate AI in a very structured governance framework. If the governance is your main interest, then my recommendation is AIGP, which is very, very in detailed and depth. Question number 6. Which certification focus more on AI risk management? This is where RAI, GARP's RAI stands out because when you go through the curriculum, you'll see that the curriculum talks about AI risk identification, model risk, fairness, accountability, operation risk, how do you monitor and control. So it approaches the entire discussion of AI from the perspective of risk, what could go wrong and how do we manage it. For professionals who are working in risk focused area, RAI is often a stronger fit. Next question. For compliance, governance and legal professional, which certification is much more better? Now the short answer over here is very simple. If you are into any of these areas, then AIGP is the one certification that will help you because it covers the compliance aspect, the privacy aspect, the data governance aspect, also to a certain level the legal aspect. So it is a much more stronger fit. The curriculum is designed around these areas, and as new changes or as new regulatory expectation is going to come, your curriculum will also get updated. So if your role primarily involves policy creation, oversight, accountability, AIGP is much more relevant to you. I hope this comparison has given you much more clarity on these two certifications in terms of the content, in terms of the focus, professional suitability. In the next video, we'll look at their career value, what is the future demand, and which certification can be a better choice for you in the long-term perspective. Till then, thank you.